All right, guys, hopefully this camera will do like it's supposed to. It's being a little iffy right now, but we'll make it work. Okay, so we're moving on to surface area, still in the geometry family, just a little bit different. Now we're working with 3D shapes. So up until now, we've just been doing 2D shapes, finding the area of those shapes, seeing how many squares it takes to fill it up. So now we're moving to surface area. All right, and for today, we're just doing rectangular prisms and cubes. And hopefully you can visualize what those are. Obviously, a cube is like a dice. Rectangular prism is like a shoebox or a gift box, anything like that. So those are the two shapes we're working with today. We will be doing other shapes, but we're going to start off with the easier ones today. So just to get a quick definition, surface area is the measure of the number of square units needed to cover the outside of a 3D figure. Now, when I say outside, a lot of people think I'm talking about perimeter. Perimeter is the outside. But what I mean by outside this time is like, think about wrapping paper. Okay, so surface area is how much wrapping paper it would take to cover up a shape. Okay, remember, it has to be 3D because it's not like you're going to put wrapping paper on a flat figure. So you're talking about surface area every time you're talking about a 3D shape. Okay, so I'm going to put kind of as a hint and think about wrapping paper. Okay, so that's what surface area is. All right, and then if you keep looking at our title, it says surface area of rectangular prisms and cubes using nets. Okay, so a net is not like what you're thinking of. A net is not like a basketball net or a net you go fishing with. A net in geometry is talking about when you take a 3D shape and you lay it out flat. So think about a cereal box. That's a rectangular prism. If I were to unfold those sides and lay it down flat across the table, that would be the net. Okay, so when you lay a shape flat, you can kind of see the shapes that it's made up of. So think about if you had a cube and I made all those sides flat, there would be 6, because remember, think about it, a cube has 6 sides and every single one of those sides is a square. So if I laid it out flat, it would be 6 squares just laying on a piece of paper. So we use nets a lot because it helps us visualize and see what each side is. Because sometimes if I'm looking at a cube, if I'm looking at the front of it, I can't really see the back of it. So a lot of people have a hard time visualizing what all those sides are. So when we use nets, everything's laid out flat so you can see what each side is. Okay, we're going to try to get through 3 examples. Hopefully our time will let us. Okay, so when you're doing surface area, you're going to hear me say this a million times. Find the area of every single side and then you just add it up. Okay, so going back to those squares I was just talking about with the cubes, a cube, every side is going to be the same. So if I find the area of one of those squares, then I would just multiply it times 6 because every single side is going to be the same. Okay, and then we add all those up and that's when I get my surface area. All right, so we're only dealing with nets today, so don't worry about having to draw any 3D figures because everything's going to be flat. Okay, so, and this does not have to be perfect. Mine's not going to be perfect either. It's already looking iffy. Okay, so this would be a net of a rectangular prism. Okay, so envision this. This side right here is the bottom. These two are the sides. They really fold up like this. And then these sides all fold up on top of each other. So like this one right here is the side. This one right here is actually the top. And then this one right here would actually fold all the way over and be the side over here. Now there's more than one way to draw a rectangular prism. This is just one way that I did it for this example. All right, so now I'm gonna give you some numbers. All right, so what's nice about surface area is all the sides are gonna be shapes that we already know the formulas for. So we just gotta use what we've been using the past couple weeks and add into this surface area stuff. So like I told you, we have to find the area of every single side, and then we're gonna add all those sides up. So it's kind of like when we were doing composite figures, okay? So it doesn't matter where you start. Just pick one shape to start with and then go from there. So I'm gonna start over here with this one. Well, this is obviously a square because it's 4 by 4, okay? So if I just put square, okay? Well, this square, remember, area of a square is length times width, so 4 times 4 is gonna leave me with 16, okay? So all I've done so far is find the area of this square right here, and I'm gonna put this in here. That way I know I've already done it. Now, think about it with a rectangular prism. Every side has a match. So this match right here is going to be over here. So I don't need to find the area again. I just need to put another 16 right here because I know that that area is going to be the same. Okay? Now, all these rectangles are the same as well. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but the picture will draw it so that you can clearly see that some sides are skinnier than others. And we'll do an example like that too. But I need to find the area of these 4 rectangles. Okay? So I'm going to put this over here. These are my rectangles. Okay, so remember for rectangle, it's still length times width, so I just need 2 numbers. Well, I can clearly see that this long side is 12, but what's this short side going to be? Okay, think about it. When it folds up, it's going to be in line with this side right here. So this side right here has to be 4. Okay, so now when I do that, I just need to do 12 times 4, which gives me 48. And now I know that this area is 48, which means all of these are also 48. Okay? So all I did was use the numbers they gave me to figure out those areas. And now my last step is to add up all of these areas together to get the final total surface area. So you can add them all up or you can multiply them real quick. Either way, when you add all these sides up, you're going to end up getting 224 inches squared. And that's your final answer. Okay? All right, let's try another one. All right, let's see. Let's do this one. Once again, doesn't have to be perfect. Mine definitely isn't. Okay, so this is the net of a cube. And way I'm going to know that is because they're probably only going to give me one number. Okay, now with all those sides, you're probably thinking I need more than one number, but you really don't because remember it's a cube, so all the sides are going to measure the same length. So I need to find the area of one of these squares because remember, once you find it for one of them, you've got all of them. So find the area of one square and then you've got all of them. Okay, so for the area of a square, you need length times width. Well, I know this side's 3. Well, what's the width going to be? Well, obviously it's a square, so it's still going to be 3. So 3 times 3 gives me 9, which means that the area of all of these squares is 9. Okay? Now don't make the mistake. A lot of people think when they hear the cube, they think 4. But remember, a cube actually has 6 sides, or it's actually called 6 faces. All right? So this cube has 6 faces. So I need to account for every single one of those faces. So I can add all these 9s up, or I can multiply it real quick. 9 times 6, because there's 6 of them, would tell me that the surface area is going to be 54 centimeters squared. Okay. All right, one more. Okay. We've got, mine's looking rough already. Okay. So this is another rectangular prism. This was more like like a gift box, like a present. Okay. So this bottom one right here is the bottom. Every single one of these little rectangles are the sides that fold up. And then this right here would be the top that actually goes on the very top of the shape. All right, let me give you some numbers. Let's see. All right. So once again, I just need to figure out the area of every single one of these shapes, and then I'm going to add them up. All right. So let's start with this rectangle right here. Well, obviously, for the rectangle, I have 2 and 8. Well, 2 times 8 is going to leave me with 16. Okay. Now, obviously, this is the back, so it's going to match the front. Okay. Now, some people might make the mistake, and obviously, this is my drawing, so it's not exactly done perfectly. Like I said, when it's on a real test, they'll draw it more clearly so that you can kind of tell which sides really match. But a lot of people make the mistake and go ahead and put 16s in these right here too. But if you're paying attention, you should be able to look at the numbers and see that these sides aren't actually the same. This short side right here is still 2, but this side matches this side, which is 6. So the area of these two rectangles is actually going to be 12 because these two sides are 2 and 6. Okay, so you got to be real careful with that before you go assuming that they're the same. Okay, so now for this, remember this is the top and bottom, so these are going to be the same as well. So this side is 6. Now I just need to figure out this side. Well, if this line right here is 8, that tells me that this right here is going to be 8 as well. So therefore 6 times 8 leaves me with 48, which means this is going to be 48. And this is why we go in and we circle them so that we can clearly see I've got all of my sides, I've got all of my areas, because let's just say that you forgot one of them. Well, if any of these are left blank without a circled number in it, then you know that you've missed that side. So it's really important that you go back in there and put those numbers that you can clearly see you've got all of your sides. So now once again, you can add all these up. And when you add them all up, you should get that your surface area is 152. Okay? We're going to be working with this all week long. So if you're confused after today, please don't worry. Just try the assignment. And then, like I said, we're going to keep practicing all week long. You just make sure you find the area of every single side and then add up all those areas that you just found. Okay? So add up all those circled numbers that you put inside of your shapes.